What's up, everybody? This is Big Herc with Prison Talk. I want to say Happy New Year to everybody, and thanks for supporting our channel on YouTube, Fresh Out Life After the Penitentiary. Make sure to tell your friends and family to subscribe, and also, if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe to our Instagram and our Twitter, which is FreshOutSeries. Also, if you want to order any apparel, go to www.FreshOutSeries.com, and if you have any questions, hit us up at FreshOutSeries@gmail.com. Now, this is from one of our viewers. This is actually a correctional officer, giving his little opinion of the show and what he experienced working in the system. He says, as long as you didn't make your business mine, I'll let you get busy with whatever you're doing that was dirty. But if you were out of pocket, I sent you to the bucket for a minute. I also never busted anyone for gambling because I played sports books on the outside. And what he meant by the bucket was the hole. The hole was when you're locked down, 23-1, or they can call it the shoe also, but the bucket is another name for the hole or lockdown facility in a prison. There are some inmates in prison on some BS, so I don't go out of my way to fuck with them. My life was saved by an inmate during a prison riot in the South Yard because I was a fair guy that didn't give inmates shit unless they deserved it. I don't think most people understand how easy it is to land in jail if you're a minority. I worked in the hole for 5 years, and it was hell for us. Between being stabbed, assaulted, and having bodily fluids cocktailed thrown on us, we definitely need to reform the system. We imprison too many petty criminals, and at the Fresh Out crew tell them what Chi-Chi is and the store action on the block. And all the time we allow you to pay your debts on football games. We're not all bad, just trying to make a living. You know that there are cops that wouldn't last a day walking the prison beat with nothing but their fist. Hey man, good dude. Shout out to the COs out there who are holding it down, that aren't dickheads, that aren't fucking with people, and that just are trying to feed their family. I know it's a game of cops and robbers, and you got two sides to every page, so it is what it is. But as far as Chi-Chi, I'm not familiar with that. I don't know if you meant Fifi, which is, I did an episode on that in Prison Talk, which is a pussy pocket, that you use to get your rocks off while you're in prison. But as far as store action on the block, what he means by that is people selling commissary in the hole. You got guys who are able to get certain things, and they're basically slinging candy bars, soups, tuna fish, whatever you could think of, and they're charging interest. So it's like having your own food broker, per se, on a particular block or cell unit. They also have that in the regular units where a guy has a commissary. They call it a store man. And the store man, usually what he'll do is he has money, he'll buy up a bunch of shit, and when the store runs out, he always has it. And you always have guys who, during the middle of the week, they run out of food because they gamble, they have habits, and they can never keep their locker stocked. So what they do is they compile a bunch of the most popular products on the commissary, and they slang those products, and they add maybe 25 to 50 cents to those products, and they make a good living doing that. It's a lot of hustles, man. Dudes in there got game. They just need to get out on the streets so they can apply that to the real world. As far as gambling and stuff like that, paying debts, most of the COs were pretty cool with letting dudes move stamps. I used to run numbers from one of the books in there, so I would basically make commission off of how many people placed bets with me through this particular betting party, and I always handled my business, and it was good money. Make you a couple $100 a month. I mean, it's a hustle, and you got to stay on top of your game. And COs, they know what you're doing. You're coming out, dudes are passing you notes. They just turn their eye, man. They know that certain things have to take place in order to keep a facility running smoothly, and gambling was one of the big ones. Now, one of the things that they kind of, tried to crack down on was the drugs, because the drugs cause a lot of violence and a lot of riots, because people owe, and because of the dude's in a gang or something, or clique, and he owes, usually he's compelled to have to check in, and his clique is not going to allow it to happen, and it kicks off. And whoever runs the drugs usually runs the power structure within any institution. That's why drugs are such a big thing, and that's why we have all the race issues in prison, is because of drugs and because of people trying to control that money infrastructure. And believe me, the institution is in on it also, because whoever runs the drugs they got favors from the COs, and they can actually, work with them to get certain things done. And it's just a big political situation. So drugs is a big thing, and like I said, a lot of COs usually crack down on that. Some of them are involved in it, but at the same time, like they said, they try to keep everything cool. And if you're not really putting your business out there, you're not a dickhead, a lot of times they'll work with you and shit is going down. I mean, everything is no different than a person running and, the Senate who's getting favors from lobbyists who are working for corporations. Same type of shit in prison. And he's right, man. Walking the beat in prison and being able to communicate with these inmates and not be somebody who they don't respect. I mean, you come in there and you can go in there like your balls out. A motherfucker will run something up in you. So it ain't like, just because these guys are locked down, they're helpless. Some dudes ain't got nothing to live for. You got 2 or 3 life sentences, what the fuck you got to lose? So, hope is a motherfucker, and you got to respect a man's will and his ability to survive. So, yeah, shout out to the CO who sent this in, and a shout out to all those who, who actually give another inmate respect and don't be riding motherfuckers up in there because, hey, man, a lot of these dudes are trying to do their time and get the fuck out, and shit happens.